Hi folks, welcome to Value Add. Topic for today is how to accomplish more in less time. Yeah, that's like one of the most common requirements for any kind of productivity. This question has been on my mind for the past God knows how many years, but I've been there's no one single answer to this, but I'll compress it into a few words and make it into a small little package here. One of the things is that yes, improve your quality of work, and what you take 10 minutes to do it in 2 minutes. If your quality is better, you'll take lesser time. There's a good chance of that. And of course, if you get better results with that much same amount of work, that's lesser effort in the long run, right? How do you improve your quality? Well, one of the main things is that you are constantly learning, constantly improving. But when you're acting from that state of being present to the moment, there are some very interesting thoughts processes that come in your head, and you're able to come up with better ways of doing things. So yeah, that definitely plays a big role in coming up with some amazing solutions, and even in the moment you create some really good you can say answers, or you come up with better solutions for challenges or whatever you're dealing with. Another important thing which is very valuable tool that I found is scheduling your day. So Brian Tracy has fit this into my head. He says every minute spent in planning is 8 minutes saved in execution. I found that really inspiring. When he said that, it was like, it makes me think that, what, that's so beautiful. Like, if I spend half an hour planning, imagine half an hour times 8 is how much? 4 hours. I earn 4 hours. Let's count, remove the half an hour of the time spent on planning, so 3.5 hours I earn. Imagine, out of 24 hours, now I'm creating productivity of 27.5 hours. I think that's inspiring. That's for half an hour. You invest an hour into planning, well, calculated, that comes out to be about 8 hours, and then remove that 1 hour, it becomes 7 hours. 7 hours you have gained. Imagine how much you can accomplish in 7 hours. Now, how does that practically work? Well, it's true, because you know what happens when you plan? You are literally with a pen and paper or a mobile and your notes, and you are trying to figure out a particular way to deal with a particular challenge. Now, when you put your mind to it, and especially when you're present to the moment, you're all in that meditative state, and you're kind of figuring out what needs to be done. What's going to happen is that you're going to come up with like these small solutions of dealing with different challenges. And what's going to happen is that as a result of that, you will end up practically deciding that, what, you can do something here, something there, and you will actually just say, okay, what, I don't need to do this particular action, or in order to do this action faster, I can do this. You will actually come up with solutions for, say, in 24 hours you're going to do 10 different activities. For each of those 10 activities, you will end up coming up with plans like, okay, I can save a few minutes there on that one, I can do this on that one, do this one first and then that one, so literally I can club these two things together. So many different creative answers come to you, and then of course you come up with strategies of approaching the right people for help. So when you get their help, and then they give you advice, and then that saves you time. That's how it practically happens. you know when you spend time planning. When you don't plan, when you just act, yes, you may still do the same things, you may still act fast, and you may still do the approaching someone for help and advice and all that may still happen despite you're not planning. But when you plan, there is the constant running brainstorming happening, and then you're able to literally come up with regular solutions for that day's challenge, or even planning for few days in the future. So it's a very beautiful way of doing more in less time. Try this out. And then when you're scheduling, when you're planning, you're ending up scheduling. You're like, okay, from this time to this time I will do this. Literally, it saves you a lot of time, and it actually works. That when you plan, you are able to save time. Now look at it even on a larger scale. Say you're going to plan for a project which takes you, say, about a month. Now you have a month for doing that project. Say you spend an entire 8 hours on it, on planning. Say daily 1 hour you planned for that project. What's going to happen really is, or you spend the entire day, 8 hours of that day just focusing on your plan. Don't spend too much time. I mean, don't just end up planning, or otherwise there's no action. There's only planning. Then that's a thing you have to be careful about, of course. But say the first day, okay, or first 2 days, 4 hours, you end up planning eight hours. 8 into 8 is how many hours? 64 hours. Let's see. 8 hours is an entire day, right? For example, so you get 8 more days. Say you sit and plan for 3 days. How much do you get? 24, 3 days, right? That's eight per day. You get 20. So you get 24 days more. 1 month becomes 24. 1 month and 24 days. Something to definitely think about. What if you spend, now there has to be a very sensible balance about it, so it cannot be done like, it should be based on your practical application, okay? So but definitely consider this. Say you spent first 5 days planning for that thing that you're going to execute in that 1 month. 5 into 8 becomes, like literally 5 days of planning, which is like 8 hours each, and then you end up spending about 40 hours. Now people literally do that in businesses. What are those meetings for? They're planning their steps ahead. They're spending 5 days into meetings. What are they really doing? They're planning for the steps ahead, the months ahead. You know, that's how they're being very smart about their work. So you spend 5 days or an entire week, you get 4 weeks more. But then again, you have to base it on the requirement. Now, for example, you spend 1 week of planning for an action of 1 month. It really should merit that. So be smart about it. Use your sense where it's required, where it's not required. Some places where you literally need to act, you need to act. You forget planning, and then there is only a certain number of hours you can commit to it, and that is enough. That's more than enough. In fact, you know what? While you are acting on your particular thing, you can keep your planning part of your brain active as well. That's another beautiful thing to look at. The planning aspect of your brain is simultaneously going on when you are acting on some. You're not really. Some activities don't require too much brain power, so you're planning your technicality. You're thinking out what needs to be done. So part of planning doesn't only mean you sitting with a pen and paper. Sometimes it means making a few calls, doing a few actions like reaching out to a certain person who's going to lend you money, or reaching out to a person with whom you're going to do a transaction, and finding out what is required. All that can also be part of your planning. Okay, so be sensible about it, but trust me, use that power and see where that works. It's actually very effective. So, you're literally ending up doing something that most people would require 2 months for, you're doing it in a month. People require 2 hours for, you're doing it in an hour or half an hour. That's how you literally end up doing things much faster. Something to definitely think about. Hope this gives you some value. Cheers, friends. Bye.